My songs know what you did in the dark. So light 'em up, 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 light 'em up, 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 light 'em up, up. I'm on fire. So light 'em up, 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 light 'em up, 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 light 'em up, up, I'm on fire.
Yo ho everybody, and welcome to another edition of Yinzer on Hockey. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Boston-Tampa Bay series, and more accurately, we will be looking at the Brad Marchand actions and what that may mean for Boston moving forward. So yesterday evening's game went, Tampa ended up winning in overtime, but there was an incident partway through the second period where Brad Marchand threw a low bridge leg check on Ryan Callahan. Callahan, being the very intelligent player he was able to somewhat avoid the collision and avoid getting himself in a position to be injured by the low bridge hit. So great work by him on that, but it ended up leading to a few skirmishes, and with Callahan and Marchand meeting up down near the Boston goal, and some punches were exchanged, and it led to Brad Marchand licking Ryan Callahan. And this is not the first incident that Brad Marchand has had with overly showing his affections for other players on the ice. He had an incident with Toronto in the first round. I think it was Leo Komarov that he licked or nuzzled, however he claims it happened in the first round. I think there was an incident against the Rangers earlier this year where he had done something similar. It's been brought up on various media outlets that his actions of licking players should result in a suspension or at least some form of discipline from the NHL, but that's not the incident that I'm more concerned with. His history of dropping down to take these low bridge style checks on players is what I think the NHL needs to visit a little bit more closely. He's already been suspended once for low bridge checking against Sami Salo in 2012. So there was an incident in Game 3 where he took somebody's legs out, and these type of injuries, there are these type of events that happen in the course of a game. If a player does not properly avoid the low bridge check, or they brace themselves for the check, is what leads to long-term lower body injuries. And I think that's the incident that the league needs to look closer at, and probably should be a suspendable offense. Now, I talked last week about the targeting of a player's head, and that's definitely something that needs to be taken more seriously, especially in the events of Jeff Carter's recent passing in the CTE incident. So the NHL needs to take a closer look at hits to the head, but they also need to understand that a player's legs are also important. And I don't think that they need to take a look at these separately. They need to look at them under the same microscope, and the types of hits and the types of things that are going on in the league. I think maybe it's time for the NHL to adopt the IIHF zero tolerance headshot penalties. That's one way that they could help improve the consistency of officiating. If an official has to use his own determination as to whether or not it was intentional or whether the head was targeted, that leaves it open to interpretation, and that leads to inconsistent calls. If they had a zero tolerance policy, then there wouldn't be any type of judgment, there wouldn't be any type of inconsistency. But the low bridge hits that Marchand, and Marchand's a smaller player. I understand that he's not a gigantic guy, so I guess to level the playing field, he feels he needs to lower his body to make checks instead of elevating himself, so that it doesn't look like he's charging or it doesn't look like he's leaving his feet to make hits. Either way, it's a dirty tactic. It's a dangerous play and needs to be addressed by the NHL. As of the filming of this, it's about noon on Saturday, so there hasn't been any action yet taken by the NHL, but they're usually later on in the afternoon is when they announce that players will have hearings with the Department of Player Safety, and I don't think that this one's going to go unnoticed, both on the count of the licking incident afterwards. It's brought a lot of attention to the incident and the hit itself. I think there should be action taken, so we'll wait to hear in the near future as to whether or not Brad Marchand will face any discipline. Let me know what you guys think of the Marchand incidents. Let me know what you guys think of the Boston-Tampa Bay series so far. I feel as though it's been one of the more entertaining series. The pace has been probably faster than any of the other series, so I really have enjoyed the pace of the Boston and Tampa series. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're just passing through, and I will see you next time. Thanks.